Are you the type to see food and eat it? What about seafood? You know, food from the sea? If fish is your dish, keep watching to learn about which U.S. cities are a must-see for seafood. With the Boston Harbor towing the Atlantic Ocean's edge and Cape Cod delicacies only an hour drive away, rich New England seafood culture is one with the city. According to the historic Union Oyster House, oysters were all the rage in the early 1800s, with Boston boroughs home to oyster parlors, cellars, saloons, and stalls. A little over a century later, Lawrence Chubby Woodman invented the fried clam and sold the dish at his Main Street concession stand in nearby Essex. The first ever legal seafoods restaurant opened on Cambridge soil in the 1940s, spreading nationwide and keeping the New England spirit alive everywhere in all of its locations. Its enthusiastic slogan, "If it isn't fresh, it isn't legal," inspired a generation of Boston chefs to pursue the boundlessness of nearby ocean harvests. Since then, fashionable establishments with seafood attractions have lured locals and tourists into tasting iconic dishes like clam chowder, lobster rolls, fried clams, and oysters. In recent decades, Michelin-star seafood plates have joined New England comfort food classics, transforming the city of Boston into a culinary destination. With such fresh local ingredients, it's no surprise that Neptune Oyster and Row 34 are among Boston's trendiest restaurants, achieving national attention. Come August, the Boston Seafood Festival celebrates Boston's integral seafood identity, drawing upon restaurants, local businesses, and residents to converge over good food, oyster shucking contests, and chef demonstrations. Tourists flock to the Big Easy for reputable beignets, permissible street drinking, and Mardi Gras celebration. So why not add superior seafood to the long list of things New Orleans does well? Cookbook author, restaurant owner, and Louisiana native Melissa Martin claims, quote, "A long legacy of culture and traditions to the local appreciation and respect for nearby aquatic habitats." Today, Louisiana ranks second in seafood production only to Alaska, but New Orleans has a seafood history that predates America itself. The French who lived in the region in the 1600s and 1700s adored local oysters, and the first dedicated fish market opened in 1790. By the early 1800s, local restaurants were embracing a growing affinity for seafood, complete with specialized menus. A 15-minute drive west of the city lures seafood lovers to the Westwego Shrimp Lot, a destination that Culture Trip describes temptingly as being a hotbed of seafood tradition with plenty of fresh fish. The market and others like it highlight the area's delightful assortment of seafood, the backbone of storied New Orleans dishes like gumbo and crawfish étouffée. Beyond these deservingly emblematic dishes, seafood weaves its way into the city's culinary identity with lesser-known enactments. According to Saveur, fried oyster sandwiches, known to locals as oyster loaves, are a New Orleans delicacy at Casamentos. Pesh Seafood Grill is another favorite, considered one of the best seafood restaurants in the country. Anyone who's been to Baltimore knows it's the place to get crabs.
Oh, there's a lot of those.
Well, look, they're harmless, all right? They get near you, hit them with the shampoo.
No, delicious blue crabs. Get your mind out of the gutter. In a state that observes universal blue crab fandom, it's impossible to exclude Baltimore from the best seafood cities in the United States. Many locals drop the blue, and consequently, the state crustacean becomes easily identifiable as Maryland crab. Eater food critic Bill Addison paints a vivid picture of Baltimore's crab infatuation, saying this about the state's love affair with the crustacean: "It remains the defining food of our collective identity. Our devotion is primal." Crab may drive Baltimore seafood tourism, but oysters, clams, and bass, among other fish, bridge the gap. Head down to Fells Point for waterfront views, frothy mussels, and seafood bites at Bertha's. Meanwhile, Dillon's Oyster Cellar in Hampton boasts a charming ambiance and a local half-shell selection. Heading to various food markets is the perfect way to imbibe crab cakes with lobster mac and cheese. Crust by Mac is another fan favorite, contributing sell-out crab pies, forged with local Maryland crab and shatteringly flaky pie crust to a passionate Baltimore community. Seattle bears flying fish credentials that define the city and echo well beyond the Northwest region for those in the know. For anyone who's unfamiliar with it, the flying fish refers to Pike Place Fish, the world-famous fish purveyor at the waterside Pike Place Market. The self-proclaimed, quote, "Soul of Seattle" was founded in 1907, and today, a fish-throwing spectacle draws the most attention. According to National Geographic, massive turbot, king salmon, or Alaskan halibut fly through the air, taking flight from one fishmonger's hands and landing in the others without any slippage. While tourists come out for a show, home cooks come for the selection of sustainable fresh seafood. Salmon is treasured across Washington state, in particular from the Copper River, and Crosscut notes the city of Seattle and salmon are inseparable. Likewise, Seattle restaurants embrace the city's seafood lifestyle. The Walrus and the Carpenter is a timeout pick that highlights Seattle's gastronomic playfulness and diverse fish and shellfish stock. Come summertime, Puget Soundgoers can shell out for freshly collected, delicately sweet Dungeness crab. Thankfully, Pike Place Fish ships both king salmon and Dungeness crab nationwide for those who don't live within a pot's distance of Seattle Soundwater. Washington, D.C. is a melting pot city that approaches seafood with the same inclusive and exhaustive conviction. The newly remodeled District Wharf sports elegant oyster bar havens, seafood towers, and stylish butter-drenched lobster rolls. The municipal fish market along the Potomac River is over 200 years old, making it the oldest continuously operating open-air fish market in the entire country. Visitors at the wharf can knock back freshly shucked oysters, pick up a whole branzino for summer night grilling, or dive straight into a just-boiled blue crab. There's no better city for a half-shell food crawl if you love oysters. Rappahannock Oyster Bar, Hank's Oyster Bar, Brine, the Salt Line, and Pearl Dive Oyster Palace are among many establishments that capture the hearts of locals. Meanwhile, the District Fishwife at Union Market sells fresh, high-quality fish and shellfish for avid cooks, including wild-caught salmon, razor clams, and octopus, and throws fried seafood bits between bread for a lunchtime feast. Dinner at either Fiole La Mer or Del Mar is an immersive seafood experience, providing a glimpse into celebrity chef Fabio Trabocchi's fashionable seafood point of view. Grand seafood towers, roaming icy fish carts, and Georgetown waterfront views earn Fiole La Mer notable accolades from the Washington Post. Seafood is one of the many reasons why renowned chefs are honoring the many culinary offerings in Houston, Texas. Texas and seafood may not be two words that naturally roll off the tongue, but it shouldn't come as a surprise with the state's proximity to the Gulf of Mexico. Houstonia magazine refers to the Gulf as, quote, the best coast. The publication praises the Gulf's abundance of pristine golden tilefish, crab, warm water oysters, and tasty shrimp. That fact alone should be music to the ears of any shrimp lover.
Let's see how many I can fit in my mouth.
Houston celebrates diverse food cultures, with one local chef saying this about the culinary scene of Houston. The food in Houston is so unique because it's built by immigrants. A city built on fusion cooking transforms local ingredients, both from land and sea, into reflective global plates. Eater Houston reiterates how the provisions of the Gulf Coast are an important aspect of the city's cuisine, and locally caught redfish, snapper, and Gulf shrimp headline menus by noting they had been caught in the Gulf specifically. Eugene's Gulf Coast cuisine does so effortlessly, showcasing, quote, Gulf Coast dinner specials in addition to local oyster shooters. Meanwhile, former professional hockey player Ryan LeShen combines Gulf Coast delicacies and global influence at Riel. Although Chicago is in a landlocked state and expressly known for deep dish pizzas, the Midwest epicenter treasures coastal products. Fresh East and West Coast seafood shipments travel to Chicago's finest seafood markets, making it to award-winning restaurant plates. The Fish Guy Market is essentially an East Coast transplant seafood market selling colossal ocean-caught tiger shrimp, wild Patagonia red shrimp, Scottish smoked salmon, and even escargot for the brave. In addition, Chicago's Wickster Seafood hoists a sustainability narrative deep into Midwest seafood procurement with 100% traceable prime seafood cuts.
Make sure you get your fish from providers who value traceability.
If you're looking for a memorable meal with an intentional seafood focus, then MFK is an easy choice. The innovative restaurant has received the Michelin Bib Gourmand Award every year since its opening in 2016. With seafood-forward Spanish tapas that showcase traditional boquerones, bass crudo, and octopus and pork fat sliders, this spot is a must. Home to some of the best sushi-grade fish, poke bowl tradition, and fish auction ferocity, Honolulu captures the beauty of the natural world in all its forms, from beaches and clear waters to fresh fish artistry and global influence. Food and Wine highlights Honolulu Fish Company, which recently started shipping Hawaii's most delicate sashimi-grade fish anywhere in the country. Ahi tuna, ono, opa, and kajiki transport Hawaii's cultivated fish craft to your door, ready for homemade poke bowls and at-home sashimi preparations. The Honolulu Fish Auction, modeled after the famous Tokyo Fish Market, is central to the island city's gastronomic seafood culture. Fresh fish cuts from nearby waters sell to eager buyers, and intercontinental preparations take over from there. For ready-to-eat meals, Honolulu locals revere Ono Seafood for its magnificent poke bowls. With tuna slices so profoundly red, they could easily be mistaken for prime steak beef cuts. The jewel-like pieces join fluffy white rice and a vibrant scallion garnish. Straddling Pacific Ocean waters, San Diego is a bustling seafood city with a unique perspective, influential creativity, and ocean-bred ingredients. According to Visit the USA, raw sea urchin is a San Diego delicacy. Those in the know head to the Little Italy Mercado Farmers Market for the freshest uni in town. After, a stop at the nearby Tuna Harbor Dockside Market highlights the soul of San Diego in open-air market form. Following a stroll through San Diego's port and a fresh uni tasting, hop into Ironside Fish and Oyster for innovative oyster flights. Visit Urban Sea for raw bar samplings, seafood mains, and inspired pasta plates. Eater San Diego spotlights the airy and bright dining hall space and the culinary collaborations that place seafood at the forefront. A wood-fire oven chars pizza crust edges, while bright swordfish and salmon mains hone the grill's seductive smoky outpost. No premier seafood list would be complete without Florida representation, and Miami has it all. Florida fishers have two bodies of water to choose from, the Gulf of Mexico to the west and the Atlantic Ocean to the east. Upwards of 80 types of seafood are harvested throughout the year, including alligator, blue crab, bluefish, clams, oyster, and mahi-mahi. Most importantly, the stone crab is considered a Florida delicacy, known for its massive claws. Okay, maybe not that massive, but they're certainly large enough to satisfy any crab fanatic's hunger, with copious amounts of sweet and succulent meat. Miami's restaurant scene does the coastal bounty proud. Joe's Stone Crab is a Miami treasure, and the large crab claws draw in 14,000 people a week to eat stone crab. Meanwhile, the South Beach Seafood Festival echoes local stone crab and seafood enthusiasm in late October, bringing the city's best chefs and diners to one food-crazed huddle. San Francisco's restaurant appeal is the perfect way to savor the country's seafood dedication. The phrase "sea to table" takes a new meaning at San Francisco hotspot Angler. The restaurant transforms fresh California seafood into bites that don't stray far from their natural seafood state. Other San Francisco chefs challenge the status quo, pushing back on regal seafood towers and crab cake patties and embracing the ocean's lesser-known treasures. Komi, a nearby Oakland restaurant, adds edible seaweed to fine dining plates. Angler chef Joshua Skeens is involved in remedying the hassle of ensuring fish shipments from other countries arrive in a peak state. Instead, he turns to his California backyard for nearby discoveries, recasting typical seafood fare with raw jellyfish and sea cucumber culinary transformations. Seafood fanatics can now turn to San Francisco, not only for some of the best classics in the US, but also for its visionary seafood deviations. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more MASH videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.